From K2 News, this is breaking news.
I'm meteorologist Rhonda Shelby, just breaking in here to talk a little bit about what you might be seeing on your phones about a tsunami threat for the West Coast. Well, I'm happy to say just a few minutes ago, officials did say that that threat is now over. So the red line you're seeing on the map is where we just had a tsunami warning for the last hour or so because there was a big quake that struck about an hour and a half or so ago. Just southwest of Eureka, out in the ocean. This was a magnitude 7.0, so that made officials a little bit nervous. This tsunami warning went up for not just the southern Oregon coast, which was everything south of Florence all the way to San Francisco, but it also affected folks all the way down that Northern California coastline. They started evacuations and everything in the last hour or so. But we will say this, the great news about this is it has been canceled in this entire area now. We will not have any tsunami threat. And of course, for our area off the coast here, we have no tsunami threat as well. But that was a huge earthquake that did happen about an hour and a half. I believe it was 10:44 was the actual time of that magnitude 7. Let's get you a live look. We've been talking a little bit about people evacuating and people in Northern California actually just moving through, trying to get away from the areas that are closest to higher water. There have been crashes of people rushing to try to get away from the higher waves, but we have heard from officials, National Weather Service, as well as the Tsunami Warning Center, that there's been no damage, no destruction, and in fact, the time has now passed where the largest waves would have come through. So now this area is safe. There have been some choppers up just kind of looking around this region here in Northern Cal just to make sure that everything was all right. You could see some strong wave action, but nothing too severe. This encompassed quite a bit of the coastline, as you know, of Northern California and Southern Oregon. So if you know people who live in this area, maybe you have relatives, friends, family, I'm just reading off of a National Weather Service and also a Tsunami Warning Center notification that says not to reoccupy the zones until local officials there have said to you or your region that it is safe. So even though there is no more threat, you should be aware that you should be listening to local officials in your area. So pass that along to people you might know down there. Okay, so a little bit of history. We haven't had any tsunami warnings here in quite a while. The last one was 2011. Then a lot of the western coastline was under tsunami warning because of the major earthquake in Japan, and of course the really big one back in 1964. But there have been 21 total tsunamis that have impacted the Oregon coast in some way in history, and that is information from the Office of Emergency Management. For a while, beaches are now closed in Curry County, and they say until further notice. My guess is that they will be open here in a little while now that this threat is over. So that is the latest we know now. There is no longer a tsunami threat. That is the best news of all. And we will keep track of what's happening down here. We have actually people out there going ahead surfing again. So here you go. This again is from KGO out of San Francisco. Even though there has been a threat here that did indicate that people needed to get away from the coastline in San Francisco, this person decided it was already okay to get back in the water. So that's what we know so far about the situation. No more tsunami threat. You may start to see those notifications on your phone soon. If anything else is happening related to this earthquake, or again, the aftershocks that could come after it, because we've already heard of a few strong aftershocks after it, we will break in, let you know